Hello everyone, I am your host Shouryaa Sharma and welcome back to Up Encrypt. Today on the show we have Rishav Agarwal, the founder of Picxele, a venture that provides companies with trained gig workers to fulfill their on-demand work requirements, and the founder of Dhandho Fellowship, a fellowship program that provides support and direction to students to become future entrepreneurs. He has bootstrapped Picxele to a breathtaking 8 crore plus revenue and 750k plus users. He is an angel investor in more than 50 plus startups and has mentored over 100 plus student startups. He is the epitome of hard work, toughness, and discipline. During this conversation, we talked about building a startup, bootstrapping, angel investing, and more. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to follow for more and stay tuned for the next one. Without further ado, here is Rishav Agarwal. You have your own company, Picxele. First of all, I love the name, Picxele. So, what is Picxele and what was the inspiration behind starting Picxele?
Okay, so before starting Pixel, I want to take out the why Pixel came and like what was the journey behind it. So I started Pixel when I was in college. But I belong to a city, a tier 3 city when I went to my college in 2015. So I started doing engineering. First year I was focused on my study because every other engineering guy needs a job. So that was my dream. And second year I did internships. So that's where I found the problem. And I did internships like in good numbers, like I did 43 internships, work from home.
Wow.
And that's where I found the problem. So that was the problem statement where the two sides of the picture came into in front of me, that being an intern it was very difficult in order to chase the company, in order to get the certificates, stipends, proper response on time actually. And it was tedious process, and it was sometimes disheartening. After working you're not getting paid or like being rewarded at particular moment of time. Second, and there were some companies who were facing a lot of trouble in terms of hiring interns, managing them, then reporting, all these kind of things. A proper resource was allocated by a company's end. And during that time, 2016, 2017, this internships and everything was booming actually, because lot many companies were getting launched. So every startup used to get their work done by interns. This all internships were getting famous during that time. So getting internship was also easy during that time in terms of work from home. Nowadays it has become very
Right.
much lesser in terms of that. So that's where the leverage the time. But these two problems stayed. So that's why I thought that why not make a curated group. So by doing internship for 1 year, I got good friends. I made a group of 200 to 300 people across India, like students who wanted to work upon, who were like in the same situation as I was in. So that because every college student who needs pocket money and who will
Yeah.
not say who will say no to that actually. So that's when I went to
100%.
college companies where I interned. Now obviously when you start it requires credibility, and obviously you don't have any credibility, but they have already seen your work. That proves that you have already worked with them. So this guy is trustable because they have given PPO, some internships I have done for 3 to 4 months. So they know that this guy has done the work, and so they could have trust me. So that's why started talking to 10 companies. I just told to them, your ultimate goal is to get your work done. Be it you hire interns or you give me the work, I will get it done from my end. So that's your entire goal is to meet the work, and with the same cost you will get it done. So that's where I started taking up the projects. And for 1 year, I did in the same process, same manner, by doing on WhatsApp, Google Sheets, etc. Onboarded one client after the other, just making case studies, etc. So, but when I came to a stage when I entered into fourth year, I thought that this cannot be scaled, and obviously doing it WhatsApp, it is very tedious for me by doing multiple projects or tasks at a time. So that's why I thought that like, why not make an application where we put the task, projects, offers, everything in one place. People can come and do the task. They will get the work gets approved on the platform, and they can withdraw via it. But again, before I wanted to make it, I had savings from the work that I have done in the third year and the fourth year beginning. But I thought that before starting, it's always good to do a research. So that's what I did again, market research for 3 months, and gathered responses from around 4,500 to 5,000 students across India, that whether if we build an application like this, it will be useful for them or not. But a good response. Then we built the application in the final year, fourth year of final year. 2019 June was the time when we launched Pixel when I graduated in May 2019. And from there till now, we have been scaling Pixel. We're trying to be like not that growth, and we are just stable enough in terms of revenue, in terms of all other things, etc. We are being constant in not going down also, not going that up also. So that was the journey
Right.
behind and the motivation behind starting Pixel.
Right. So you can say that you interned and you built collections as well.
Yes, correct. So, see, internship were the first place where I got connections because if I had been in my college, if I have not done anything, any across, I would have not come here as the place where I am in today. Because via that, I met companies, I met the representative of the companies, some of the founders also, lot of students across India, not only from my college actually. So, give me a diversity in terms of knowing about different set of people. So it's not about only 1 month, 2 months. It took 3 years actually. This, if I consider the entire second year, third year, fourth year before I launched Pixel, this entire connection, this all helped me when I launched the app. So obviously,
Right.
this entire duration while I was in college, it obviously paid off when the Pixel launched. In initial days, it had users, initial users. It had companies who had given us the work actually. So the application would have been an empty application without a user and without a project.
Hmm. That's great. That's great. Any challenges you faced?
That you cannot counter yourself or give reasons or excuses because you have problems in your life. So
Absolutely.
obviously colleges are there and the study is there, but I never considered that study is a barrier for me in order to get my work done because you have the entire half day of when you go to college and half day is still vacant and we study 1 day before the exam. So that's where the time was there. So I used to utilize that time in doing that. Couple of challenges, obviously, knowing about the market, knowing about the industry, knowing about the people, legals, all those things were there. But by when I used to get some kind of thing wrong, then I used to learn that. So obviously, it was a learning process entirely. As of now, also till now, we are. I keep on learning why the things which keeps on happening. So that's a process. So obviously many challenges will keep on coming. It's all about that how you take that challenge, you accept that challenge and you resolve it and then you learn from that and keep moving ahead. So that's process what we need to follow as an individual in our life.
Right. Absolutely. 100%. So I'm sure you might have had a lot of competition in the early days. I feel like Upwork is one platform. You share some resemblances with Upwork as well. So how is Pixel different from all these other platforms out there?
Okay, so we are not a freelancing platform actually. So when you talk
All
about
right.
Upwork and Fiverr, so they are a freelancing platform where recruiter hires the freelancer. But over here,
Right.
recruiter or the companies cannot hire people directly from our platform. It's where
Okay.
we are in between to manage their work. So we will the particular person who will be taking up the work from the company will get it done via our platform. So we have segregated the work into two types. One is skilled and one is unskilled. So semi-skilled, if you talk about, like where you can read the task, you can complete and you can submit it over there. And the second one is where the skills are required in terms of you should know a basic skills which in the prerequisites, and then you get trained on the particular project because every company will have a different requirement, like work related to telecalling, data entry, and then content designing, all this requires skills and also knowledge about the particular company also, then the work gets started. But over here also
Right.
we guide both the process in terms of companies, in terms of people, and we get them matched and then we start getting it done. So we are a managed place where we are not a marketplace, but we are a managed platform where we take up the work and we eventually get it done from via our end. The credibility and the entire responsibility of delivery is ours. If the people is going, we replace the particular person in order to get the work done.
That's great. So for that, will have to, you'll have to train all those the ones who recruit and everything. So how do you ensure that the task force you provide by Pixel, it's trained and qualified
Okay,
to
so
meet the needs?
got it. So what happens actually? So we have, as I told, we have segregated the work into semi-skilled and skilled. One is like when a user enters our application, they will see the simplest task, so anyone can do it.
Hmm.
That's one simplest thing. But down the line, we keep on filtering them as per the interest in our application. They keep on submitting the forms and their interest in the particular project. We see how they are responsible in terms of their particular work, also their skills in terms of some of the smallest work. Based on that, we talk to them. We keep them filtered in our platform. Now, tomorrow, if we get a project related to content, so we push that content related work to that set of users. So that can be 100
Okay.
and they will be applying to it. Then we match the process and then we allot the work to them. So that's where we don't have to train them. We just keep on filtering on our platform based on your interest. Now, when you have a pool of 7 lakh users, 7.5 lakh to be precise, so from there, we
Yeah.
just need to pick up 100, 200 people. See, no, we don't have a requirement of 1,000, 10,000 over here. I just have a requirement
Right.
for one particular skill of job or work, say content, 100 people is sufficient for me. So, and data, 100 people is sufficient for me. From getting 100 people from the 7.5 lakh user is became easier down the line actually.
Right, right, right. What all niches do you have in Pixel?
Okay, so we don't do development related tasks. Okay, we
Okay,
do mostly in the operations, the marketing, the content, data, and design. This related task and mainly we don't do the task which requires development in place entirely, where you need to allot the entire resource to a company. Now that becomes outsourcing or a freelancing work, because without
that's smart.
that
Yeah,
particular person cannot work over there actually, because over there we cannot keep our adding our particular legs in that particular thing and we can keep doing the work. That's why we are not forayed into development kind of works that will shift the business. So we only focus on operations, marketing, content, the work which is temporary actually for a company also, and will requires in numbers or in terms of skills or in terms of they requires resource timely, and development related works requires a complete allocation to that particular company. They need to work with them together in line with that.
that's smart. That's really smart. Um, so can you share the art of bootstrapping? Because you have bootstrapped the hell out of Pixel. That's awesome. That's very rare these days, bootstrapping.
Well,
So how do you do that?
definitely, a lot of people bootstrap. Definitely, so many bootstrap startups don't come into limelight. To be precise, actually.
Right.
So this is
Yeah,
the
that's true.
people who are earning money, who are making money. They keep be in silos. They keep being silent. So I also people started knowing me after 2021, or you can say in the 2022 onwards, when I started writing about it actually, that how my
Right.
company grew. Before that, I was working in 2019, 2020,
Mm-hmm.
2021. I kept working. No one knew that what is Pixel. Only people who are working
Right.
with us or the companies who are working with us, they used to know. I used to reach out to them via LinkedIn in order to onboard the companies. But this entire thing I
Mm-hmm.
altered in 2022. Now company reaches to us in order to get their work done because now they are seeing us. So what I understood in terms of bootstrapping is like you need to know how to multiply the money what you have today in your bank account. The day you know the art of multiplying the money, or you know how to allocate the money in order to fulfill the requirements what you have for the upcoming 3 to 6 months, that day your business becomes sustainable. It's more
Mm-hmm.
about that you need to understand that you have one recurring inflow of revenue, and second one is temporary revenue. Recurring, with that
Right.
recurring you need to meet your all the cost and expenses, and from all the particular other extra on the new revenue what you earn from new companies etc, that becomes your profit. So I always ensured that we have a set of company from whom we get a recurring revenue, so that the daily operations or the monthly operations keep getting met. The company doesn't get stopped. Even if we don't get a new client in a particular month, then too the operation cost will be met. So that's what I always ensured from day one. That's what, and also we didn't spend on unnecessary things. We use zero tools on our company. In the name of
All right.
technology, we just use Zoho Mail, etc., and all those simplest of the platforms what we can use actually. 3 to 4 SaaS
That's
tools.
great.
Rest all things are completely like on layman on seats, etc. All those things, because we know how to do that. Actually, we have not spent it much on like taking unnecessary tools or resources, etc., or unnecessary hirings. We kept our resources smooth so that it becomes more fruitful in the longer run in order to complete the work. And for us, we are into the domain where we get the work done from people. So I also don't hire people unnecessarily. When we have some requirement in place for our company, also we take people from there.
That's very important these days. That's very important in the times of actually laying people off. That's very important. Any problems you faced during bootstrapping?
So obviously, see, there will be times like when you don't get money, like within the duration from the company, then the entire cycle becomes distorted for you. So that is one particular challenge. Second is like trusting companies in the initial days is very difficult, because in initial days when I started, actually, I didn't know how to make the contract properly, how to make the timelines of the payment properly, so that it doesn't get
Mm-hmm.
like hampered in terms of or spoiled by the company, etc. So that's where down the line I understood this, that I need to be strict on my payment terms. I need to be strict on what companies I am onboarding. It's not just about onboarding the company. I should see that whether that company will pay on time or not, etc. All those things
Mm-hmm.
down the line came to me, and I understood. They were obviously in this particular kind of work, due to some of the mistakes which I have done, had a good defaulters also in terms of payment. So that is again a
Right.
part of a business when you run it. But we cannot go and say to our gig worker or a part-time worker that we will not pay you because company has not paid us. We need to pay everyone. That is one thing I have understood in this particular entire journey of my life, is like it's not about money where you talk about, it's all about the people, because money you will earn every day, but people won't. You won't earn people every day. So that is one thing which will help you in order to keep your business running down the line.
Right. And how about saying no to the investors who came coming to you to, for you? Yeah.
So it's not about I said no. There were times when investors also said me no. So 2019 when I first
Mm-hmm.
gone to raise actually in August and September. So that time we failed miserably because pitch deck was pathetic. I used that pitch deck to show everyone that don't make pitch deck like this. To people to people who they ask me that how to make pitch deck, I show them you don't make it like this. Rest all is okay. So
Right.
that is one thing which I learned. Second is like I didn't know how to structure in terms of raising all those things, the process, the way, the whom to raise, where to raise,
Right.
who's the right investor to from whom I can raise. So there's a set of people who will invest in your business. Not everyone will invest. If I go and pitch
Yeah.
to a sub company who is investing in EV or SaaS, etc., then why that company will
Mm-hmm.
invest in me? So that knowledge was lacking in me. But again, I thought that it's okay, no worries. I just gave up on raising in 2 months. Then we kept on building the business. Corona happened. We moved back home. We kept on scaling. 2021 again we gone to raise like in May and June. That time we fulfilled our round in 2 months. But in
All right.
2020 when I started investing, that's where my entire philosophy got changed. That it's always be good to be a revenue positive company and not taking external money. So that's why I thought that
Right.
if you are having revenue, if you are growing decently, and if you don't need money, which is not important to you as of now or not necessary, it's always better to remain like this. So I said no to those particular investors that let's drop this. But till now, those people who trusted me today also, if I go and tell them that I want to raise, they will definitely invest. It's not only they were investing because the company was growing, because they trusted me. They gave lot of business till now also. They referred so many companies to me. They helped across so many domains, etc. So that is one relation where investors and founders do have in the ecosystem.
Right. Right. Love that. Love that. Um, so you have done your BTech in IT, right? So how were you able to learn finance and business? Because that would be a challenge for you, I'm sure.
So finance we learn like after my name I have Agarwal, so we have learned finance from our own. So that was that was already there. We before sending us to school we were set on the SOP actually. So after school also we
Okay.
used to sit on SOPs. Like home was like where I used to stay. The our SOP was below only. So that's where
Mm-hmm.
while coming to school and while going to school you sit in the SOP. So that one thing you will understand that what money is coming, what money is going, what is that is. So that one thing you can understand from that particular background. But again,
Right.
the more important thing is like how on like basic things like more fundamental things. It happened when I started doing it actually, maintaining what is the
Definitely.
terms, like what are the taxes, all those things, etc. The basic thing which our founders will know in terms of. Now today I know all the norms of filing GST, all the norms of TDS, what are the ways the taxes will be imposed on me, all those things, etc. The only if needed, I can file my GST also. That's where I have understood the
Right.
process because I didn't want to be dependent on each and everything on other particular person while running the business. If there's a different company or people who are filing this, etc. But down the line, when you keep on doing the things, you learn it. So it happened
Yeah.
widely. I keep on doing mistakes are there, but again, you understand it and you can keep moving ahead.
That's great because I've seen people read books, do courses, learn, but not execute it,
Correct.
which is the worst part. So that's the most important part,
I
execution.
always say that do practical experiences. Like even if you are, it's the smallest example. People say that I want to learn how to run Google Ads, Facebook Ads, but they start watching videos. But I say it's okay to watch the videos, but spend 1,000 rupees, create ads yourself. You run it, then you will
Right.
understand that how it has been done actually. Just by reading it and listening, actually you won't learn it actually until unless you execute it. You need to spend some
Absolutely.
money in order to learn, like be it 1,000 or 1 lakh rupees. So all these things what I have
Absolutely.
said, like where I made a loss in my company, that was a part of learning. Where I made profit in my company, that was part of a learning.
Right. Absolutely. So you have your two sides. One is the entrepreneurship side. One is the investing side. So tell us about your other side, the angel investor.
So investor again that I consider completely as a learning because being an investor I understood entire thesis and philosophy that how to raise money. That is first, which I always lacked because I didn't know how to raise money because in the initial days also. But in 2021, when you have numbers, then investors get convinced easily. And 2021 was the time the industry was booming in terms of putting money in the market. So if I
Right.
would have raised that time, would have been very easy for me to raise, and the round was also completed actually in terms of commitments.
Yeah.
So it wasn't difficult, but again, I need to understand what is the fundamentals of raising, how to raise, how to structure all those things, from whom to raise. This I understood after talking to founders when they were coming in order to raise from me. Secondly, when I started investing, I got to know how investors invest, what are the terminologies. There are so many terminologies which I keep on understanding every new day with every new particular company I invest in. Because down the line, if you invest in initial rounds and later rounds, the terms changes, all the things changes. So it's a part of a learning. But I always invest in companies who are mostly young, more on the like how the founder thinks he can grow the company, more than trusting upon
Right.
what they have built, because it's founder who will be running the company, not the obviously product and everything is important, but it's all about the execution who will do it.
Right. Right. Absolutely. So Piyush Bansal, the CEO of Lenskart, the founder of Lenskart, he says that he invests on people rather than on the business.
Correct.
So what's your philosophy? What's your criteria to
So
invest?
mostly I also do that only. So there are some of the like not some many companies are there where I invested on people. Like if a
Mm-hmm.
particular founder is coming to me, I know him from a particular time duration, 6 months, 1 year. If they come and tell me that I am raising, but I know that the guy is immensely good, I never ask pitch deck also from them. I say that I will invest.
Wow.
So that is one way of doing. Three companies have done it like this. They're like 17 companies where I invested where the product is not there, but they're very young in terms of students. I invested everywhere. I invested in a company, the founder was 16 years old. I invested in a company where the founder is 21 years old also. Both didn't have product, both had idea. But the reluctance
Right.
or knowledge about their particular sector always shocked me that they know a lot. What I was not
Right.
knowing during my particular age, but they have that zeal
Mm-hmm.
of doing it. But again, if I don't support them now, it will be injustice, or you can say that it will be very disheartening for me also, for them also, that people are not understanding the need of now. Because we as a people who have came from that particular age and from that particular background, starting from college, I need to understand that these are the people who can make it big. Because from 100 brains, two brains from college will always sign, that I have seen. So that's where I keep
Mm-hmm.
betting more on people who are very young, who are passionate, who don't talk about they want to raise money. They talk about how they will build product, how they will build business. So that is more important.
Right.
So it's always good to bet on people.
Absolutely. A lot of entrepreneurs and investors these days, they tell that it's a war, you have to be ruthless, you have to be the most cold person in the world. I think that's not true. You need to be very kind also, because that's the only way you will help people grow.
So it's not. I see. It's okay. I also be ruthless. I also be very. We talk about raw. I just keep telling. I
Yeah.
just write rightly, because see, some of the people they raise because they don't. They also don't know why they are raising. I write.
Mm-hmm.
I write
Yeah.
all the things straight away. I just don't sigh behind the bars and say that I am, until I just put the things in front, that this is the part. This is the thing I'm not going to invest, etc. So that always,
Right.
it's always good to be raw. But again, you need to be good to people who are good to you, what I understand.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
that's what I have
Definitely.
understood. If people are not good to you, I just don't try to be good to them.
Absolutely. How do you balance the role of being an entrepreneur and an investor in daily life?
So now it has become an habit. Now, since this work of like doing multiple works like across the day, this habit I started getting from my college when I did internships. I never realized that
Mm-hmm.
this will lead me to here actually, but it was happening, which I realize now that when I used to do internships, 10 internships in 1 month altogether, I was doing multitasking. But during that time, I didn't know it is multitasking. I was just working.
Right.
But down the line, when I imagine today, sitting in 2023 or 2022, I imagine that that was the time when I started inculcating this particular habit, doing that work speedy or in terms of more precisely, and doing
Mm-hmm.
multitasking. So that helped me now by working in my company also, working in but some companies as a consultant, investing in companies, trying to do other things also across, so that in order to start something new also. So that's where you need to be very active in terms of doing the work more physically and more faster.
Right. That's great. Love that. You have one more company called Dhandho Fellowship. And so, what's Dhandho Fellowship? What was the motivation behind starting it?
So it's again, it's not a fellows company as a whole. It's not like
Okay.
it's just like fellow. I initiated a fellowship. So as I told, I invest in people mostly. I support college
Yeah.
students or school students who are there. But what happened in like started happening lately in 2022 that lot many students used to reach out to me, but the messages were broken. They used the path was like if you talk about it was unguided path to them that they want to raise money. They used to reach out to me, why I want
Right.
to raise money, but they don't know why they are raising. I used to ask, what is the product? Nothing, no answer is there. So,
Hmm.
but again, they used to request, let's get on a call, and it's practically not possible for me to talk to everyone. So
Yeah.
that's where I thought
Absolutely.
that let's make a process of it. So I just made a form. I just rolled out that whosoever is in college or school and graduated up to 1 year can apply to this fellowship, and it is completely free. In India, all
Okay.
the
Hmm.
fellowships runs paid actually. Either people take 10,000, 5,000, 15,000, whatever money is. All the fellowships mostly in India are paid. So I thought that let's make it free, but it will be completely where I will be teaching them the business part, the most basic fundamentals of things. So they people started applying. So as of now, total 150 startups are there in 5 cohorts in last 4 months total.
Wow.
So, like obviously in 150, definitely 20, 30 people are serious enough. That cream I want from that particular strength. So like around in 1,000 to 2,000 application, I hired, I took 150 people first. And 150, I know that 20, 30 people will stay for the longer duration. They will be continue to do their startup after the college also. So that cream is
Right.
always you need to filter them from a larger group. So I just
Hmm.
keep take it so based on the filter of the application. I keep them filtering out. Then talk to them for 2 to 3 minutes, normal questions, and then we add them to the group. And it's the basic process. We don't say that we will help you to raise money. I never say that over here you will be. We will be the only objective of over here is like I always say that no one will talk about how to raise money over here. Everyone will
Yeah.
talk about how to build business because what? Why do you need money now? You are in college. Complete your studies.
Right.
Talk to people, etc. You have so many friends. Work with them. Then build your business.
That gives people hope a lot. Like even my friends, they're scared of opening a business because they are just scared how will we raise the money and stuff like that. And they have to understand that the raising money is not the most important part. It's about building the business.
Correct.
I have to ask you this question, a very small question, which is that what do you think about this new dropout culture of college? Not going to college to open a business. What do you think about that?
So what I say is like completing basic education is important. Like be it you complete your class 12th or even if you need to, I what I understand you need to have a basic degree also. Like it can be distant also. Now so many
Right.
facilities are there in terms of edtech that you can get degrees. So it's always
Yeah.
good to have a basic degree. Like after
Right.
12th, you have some degree. You can, if you want to do your particular startup, you can do that degree distant. So I always suggest that dropout is okay again, but this everyone doesn't become successful after dropping out. But again, after down the line, if you
Absolutely. Yeah.
want to apply for a job, that degree will be seen somewhere or the other actually. Even if you are
Yeah.
a good person, startups are definitely hiring due to skills. I also hire due to skills. But what I
Right.
understand behind the skills, simplest degree or a normal degree is required, whether it's distant or a full-time course, that is completely different. I don't get into that. But simplest degree is people should definitely take it.
Right, absolutely. Varun Maya says this great thing about dropping out of college. He says you should drop out if you have leverage,
Correct.
and that's very important because if you have no idea, you have no source of income, no connections in the real world, you shouldn't drop out. You should
Correct.
stay in college, study, and if you have leverage, you can think about dropping out.
Exactly.
So that's very important, right? Any advice you would give to students in who want to become entrepreneurs in the future?
Yeah, so I say this everywhere. Like, don't start a startup because everyone is doing it. Like, because
Hmm.
everyone wants to be a founder or CEO. Like, it's very cool when you write it on Instagram or LinkedIn heading. So just don't do it because you can become a founder or a startup in 1,000 rupees or 5,000 rupees. You just need to buy a domain and just write founder and CEO of
Yeah,
XYZ company. So you can now in
definitely.
India you can become a founder in 5,000 rupees. If I consider you want to make your landing page website also. So in 5,000
Yeah,
rupees, you are ready to do your startup. But don't do because that is important. Do it because you match your with some of the dreams, some of your intentions are there in order to solve a problem. And obviously, with the problem, you will become more focus oriented. You will solve a bigger problem. You will create an impact, and ultimately, you will build a business and you will make money out of it. This process.
Right.
This focus oriented is there, and always think that it's not a 1 year, 2 years journey. Short term is not what a business is. It's all about long term. You need to stick it for like around 7 to 10 years if you want to make it some decent business. Actually, I won't say I've done a great business, but if I stick to basics, like for 6 years, removing about time when I did internships, it's about 6 years now. 2 years of college and 4 years after the college, I've been doing the same thing. The process got changed, but I kept on doing the same thing. It is irrespective of so many competitors came in, so many things happened in the market, but I never changed my business model because I trusted on this business model in my college. I want to continue this business model, whether it grows that much or doesn't grow that much until I found something new and start working on it. That is very different. So sticking to something is very important. One constant thing, your mind shall be at one particular pace. You keep on doing other things, that is completely okay. But one constant stickiness to your business is important.
Right, absolutely. So for this episode, I talked to my friends a little. I asked them, what issue do you face, which when you want to be an entrepreneur, and they said that it's the process of ideation. They have no clue about the idea. And for me also, I have been through 50 ideas, and I've tried, researched everything, and they come back to being the worst ideas in the world. What is your roadmap to having a successful idea for a startup?
You will find an idea when you don't find an idea actually. You will only find an idea when you don't try to find an idea. So that I
Right.
will put in that way actually. So when you go out in the market and say that ki ha idea chahiye, then you will not find anything. Then you will keep on getting an idea. You will see that it is already existing in the market. You will then that will be one time will be coming in your life. You will find something which is very relatable to you, or which you see out there someone is struggling. That becomes your aha moment to start with. I never started this as an idea actually, because I never had this mindset that this will thing happen. It kept on happening with how it happened, and then it converted into business, etc. So it was never a thought process that I need to start something. I didn't even knew that what is startup, because I just came to my college with a dream that I am paying 16 lakh rupees over here. I need to get some 15, 16 lakh of job because I can just
Right.
compensate that. That will be a mindset of the
Right.
people actually. So that is the basic thing. But you get an idea when you are in. You don't get an idea when you are in search of it. You get it when it becomes very instantaneous. You talk about, you see something, you face something, then it becomes an idea, and then ultimately a business.
That's
Wait for
true.
that
That's true.
moment in your life. Yeah.
Right, that's true. Any dream you have, like every entrepreneur has a dream. I want to be a unicorn. I want to be that. Do you have a dream
No,
for a
so
company of
being a
yourself?
founder, I don't have any such dream that I want to make a 1,000 crore company or a thing. I just want that I be like accountable enough or credible enough in terms of work what I do. It's all about the person, as I told. It's not about like if I today I have $1 billion money, but I am not able to sleep properly. It doesn't make sense to me. I want to sleep properly when I go to bed at 11. I want to make wake up properly, a peaceful mind when I wake up at 6. So that is important for me. Not
Right.
doesn't depend on whether I'm earning 8 crore as a revenue or 4 crore as a revenue or a 40 crore as a revenue. I want that peace in life. For me, that is the dream. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Thank you so much for doing this. Thank you so
Most
much for
welcome.
doing this.
Most
It means a
welcome.
lot. Thank you so much for doing this. I will make sure in a few years I'll come to Bangalore with an idea. I'll come to you. I'll pitch to you. I'll make sure of that.
Definitely,
Thank you
definitely.
for doing
Yeah.
this.
Thank you so much.
If you've reached this point, thank you so much for tuning in. If you love this episode, don't forget to give a follow and rate the podcast. I am your host Shouryaa Sharma, and I will see you again very soon. Out.